Welcome to episode 65 of Pull Up with Myles and Owen. And today we could not be more excited to welcome a very special guest to the program. Joining us live from Barclays Center, WNBA champion, Natasha Cloud. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no, we're very excited. We've been looking forward to this for a little while now. Yeah. And first thing I want to ask you about is just, you are a Northeast girl, and seasons are changing. New York is kind of changing with it too. Yeah. You get to experience, obviously, the playoff atmosphere, but just how does New York City kind of resonate with you now that you've had this full summer here?
Yeah, honestly, I feel most at home. I've been in DC and Phoenix before my tenure here, and they're all beautiful places. DC will always be like a second home because of how many years I spent there. But when you're talking about like encompassing everything that is me, which is fiery, which is passionate, which is loyalty, realness, authenticity, that is what I feel here every time that I kind of step outside my door, or even just in my house. But there is no better feeling than being back on the East. I didn't realize how close New York and Philly's environments and just like tenacity was until coming here and playing here in front of this crowd. But I feel at home here. I feel like this is the first place where my dog is like truly welcomed and full. Like I hear barks during the game half the time. I'm like, this is amazing. Like I love this shit. So all through and through, I'm really happy to be where my feet are and thankful that New York is where they are.
You alluded to the crowd, and you've talked throughout the season about like, and lots of players have, about players recognizing you out and just the culture and the environment. And we've seen it grow in the years covering this team, where now I walk here and it's just like bars have Liberty flags outside and fans wearing jerseys on like non-game days and stuff like that. But you tweeted after that game here, game 2, 2023, I wrote it down. You said, I want to personally thank you, Liberty fans. The love y'all showed me walking off the court last night was unexplainable. Not my wildest dreams did a mid-major underdog ever imagine a sold-out Barclays crowd giving me a standing ovation.
Crazy.
So that love has been here.
It's been here. And I think this fan base, New York as a whole, it's very similar to Philly in how we are diehard fans. We are loyal. We will go through the ebbs and flows of seasons and decades and years with teams. But what our expectation of the players that play for our team is to go out every single night and you give everything that you fucking have to this team, to the city, to the name across your chest. And I feel like I've always come in as an opposing player, and this has been my favorite place to play other than Staples Center. Like this arena this is the environment you dream of as a kid, and you're in your driveway and you're like 3, 2, 1 on the shot clock. Barclays is what you think about in those moments. And so every time that I came in here, I just wanted to always put on a good show. I understand that I thrive in these type of like hostile environments too. But to walk off the court and to receive that same love and passion that was just given to the home crowd team to you as a player from an opposing team, that will always be like top 3 moments of my career. And I'm super thankful to now be playing for that crowd that gave me so much love. At the time that they didn't even know that was my last time in the DC jersey, and that's why I walked off crying, because I knew that. No one else really knew that, but I knew that in my heart of hearts that was my last time playing for DC.
I feel like an underappreciated aspect of this crowd is like you talk to people and it's like these fans have been around. Like these are OG WNBA fans. They respect the game. They love the team.
Yeah.
What are some of your favorite, maybe specific moments you've had, either interactions with fans this year who've just expressed appreciation, or like an and one that just got everyone lit?
Man, no, honestly, like you said, even from just walking, I'll walk with the dogs. People will stop me. They'll talk about how much they love the team, how much they're thankful. Like Izzy and I are now here and they get the tizzy time. I love our fans. I get gifts. I've gotten Kofias when they know how important my activism is to me. I've gotten Poppy shirts. I've gotten an Obama shirt last week. And then just even talking about like the dog thing, like I hear barking in the crowd, and for me, like that is really special to me, because it's like, okay, I got the crowd behind me. Like, how can I not go out here and play hard when I got people barking, expecting their dog to be out here playing hard every single night? So I feel like all the love, all the support, on the court, off the court, and a lot of it more so now in my activism, I do take a lot of strong stances. against a lot of hot topics in our country. And I feel like I've had the support of our fan base for the most part, of just really like calling off the dogs when they do get on me on social media. You know, I like a quick, I'm going to say what I say, I'm going to mean it with my chest, I'm going to give you facts, and I'm going to disappear for a few weeks, but that means I leave people in the tizzy there for a little bit. So then I come back and I'm like, our fans just went stupid on everyone. I didn't even have to So I do appreciate y'all.
I will say my favorite moment last year, and it was covering a championship team, so obviously there were a lot of highs with that, you know, walking to the parade that I used to watch when I was a kid,
right?
like the Yankee parades when I was a little kid. But it was after Natasha was out for a couple of months, and there's that 90 to 60 warm-up where some fans come in, and they gave her this huge standing ovation. And it's just like the depth. There are so many sports fans that are just there because that's the vibe.
Absolutely.
But the level of care and compassion, I feel like that's true across the W. It's not unique to New York, but it feels like those connections are really being made. And it's human beyond just like, what can you do for me 40 minutes between the lines?
Absolutely. I feel like you said, there's only so much family feel you're going to get to professional sports. Y'all know that. It's not like college. College, you're really like, there's no time away from each other. Like it is this is the closest like full fan, staff, team that it's been. Everybody's together, right? You're just in like a family feel. So when you saying about that, like not only with B, when the yard just came back, the crowd went crazy. Izzy after 2 weeks of a concussion, they're chanting her name afterwards. Like they don't understand how much that fuels players behind the scenes. Whether or not you see it, you know, we're human. We go through our own spouts of confidence, lack of confidence, playing well, not playing well. But when you have your fans that are consistently loving you, supporting you, and advocating for you, it really makes that like adversity that you hit along the way a little bit lesser adversity, because you know you got people behind you that's so.
You actually kind of teed up our next topic because you brought up college. And in our research for this pod, we came across your blogs at St. Joseph when you were in your senior year.
Oh my God.
Which were fantastic to read.
Lord.
But what was kind of, there was a parallel there. Oh, you kept everybody hyped all the way through. You said the Hawk will never die. You signed off every single one.
Every single one.
But you also finished that by coming up against Stewie's UConn team.
Oh my God, I blinked and we were down 41. I don't fucking understand. I blinked and we were down 41, and it wasn't like we wasn't scoring. I had 20. Crazy. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's how good that UConn team was. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And it was just
and
also...
screw you, NCAA, because at the mid-major, why you kept putting us in the UConn bracket?
Right?
Any other bracket, we beat all Big Five schools. You want to put us with freaking UConn? I said, damn.
I did love that you were like, what we did in this first round was super important because we know what's about to come next.
We was like, we about to get knocked out. So this is our championship. This first game, well, we're going to give you kind of our best, but there's only so much we can fucking do.
That roster.
It's all Jesuit University.
I wanted to give two quick shout outs because Lucas Kaplan, who does great reporting for the Liberty Fast, and put us onto that, but also CeCe Andrews was on that team, and I know CeCe, obviously from the AU days, I know CeCe, but I didn't realize you guys were on the team together. Absolutely. That was fun to kind of pour through those friendships.
Those relationships that I made at St. Joe's were so important to me. I'm really thankful for that group of women that we're still friends. We still talk. They still check on me. They still come to games. CeCe was in LA when we went to play the Sparks. So those relationships that you create in college are really special. I need to do a better job this offseason of making sure I make my rounds to them. They do a really good job of making their rounds.
I love that.
Yeah.
But being a communications major, how did that inform your relationship with media? Because you have this like very compassionate rapport. You see us and you appreciate and come over and say hi. But like having had the experience, even if it's blogging, but taking some of those classes, how has that helped kind of humanize the other side, us? Because we know we don't get those opportunities to really talk to you outside of just putting a camera in your face and saying, answer this question.
Yeah, I think the realm with like media and players is, I love them. Even like you starting the podcast off with you did of like, we're going to do this, this, and this. You prepare me. You don't try to get me with a like as a comm major, I know that your job is to get a story. That is the reality of what your job is. My job is to go play as best as I can on the court. Sometimes I might not have my best game, but in those moments, like that human piece is still there. And so I think that's a really important piece. But being a communications major has definitely made me understand what it is to just like be a storyteller and to write. If I wasn't a basketball player, that's what I wanted to do, was to still be around sports and still be involved with something that I had so much passion about and that made me so happy. So this is your passion. It's like from a different side of things, but we both love this game. We both give to this game. We both have a responsibility and story to help grow this game, to tell the stories that matter in this game. So I don't see it as you against me. I see it as us, right, building this thing up. But then there are those media outlets and those media people that will forget that there's a human on the other side of this New York Liberty shirt that is going through things, whether it's off the court or on the court. And I think sometimes we forget that. And so the questions, I've been in media where I'm like, what the fuck is that question supposed to mean? Like, how would you like me to answer it? Because I see your leading question to either cause turmoil in our locker room or create a little bit of rift, and I'm not going to give it to you. So it is on us to navigate that, but I'm understanding that there's a story, but I also think there's a fine line of like humanness on both sides that needs to be respected. So I don't know if that makes sense, but I love y'all. I very much feel like this is all encompassing, and when it's like, I wanted to sit down with y'all. I missed y'all a few weeks ago, but this has been like, Brian, I want to be able to sit down with them because I really do appreciate them, so they do deserve my time.
We appreciate that so much. And I think it's like really important to what you just said, like the distinction in intentionality between like, am I trying to get a story for clicks or tell a story?
Yes,
and like
I love that. That was a bar. Yes.
that's what we want to do with this podcast, is just like get to talk to people
Yes.
and learn their stories and share that. And I think like people don't quite understand how much there's an expectation for you, and you just touched on this earlier, to be on all the time.
All the time.
You have to be on all the time, whether it's with fans, media, like that's just
all the time.
The nature of the job, and
Yes.
it has to be so exhausting. In what ways have you learned to be able to protect your mental and kind of maintain yourself when that is something that's just always an expectation?
I love that question because I feel like we talk more about mental health now than we did when I was first coming into the league or even when I was in college. But I still don't think we talk about it enough. Like physically, I'll be able to get my body to do whatever I need to do on the court, but mentally is the biggest blocker that we don't talk about enough within sports, right? Because we're told to just rub some dirt in it, keep moving on. And it's like, this is not a weakness to be like real about where my mental state is, right? Fatigue sets in, exhaustion sets in, whether you're having good games, bad games sets in, whether you're, right, the injuries that came this season were like fucking mentally exhausting because you're like, damn, we're going in the lineup, we're going into games, we don't know what the lineup is, we don't know what our offense looks like just a million different things. So I've been big on prioritizing my mental health off the court. So what that will look like is, and with me, I'm very high energy. I give a lot of myself when I'm in these spaces. So when I go home, I'm like home. Like I am typically off my phone. I might be on social media here and there if I feel I have time for it. But I'm very big on like tizzy time. We might go get food. We might go get some coffees after practice. Our dogs are really big on like our resetting of like, okay, let's go outside, let's touch some grass, let's get in the sun, let's feel some air. Just like a snap back to reality mentality. We're big on like upkeeping our nails, our hair. We'll go get massages, we'll go get facials. Like self-care is just really important. And I'm big on mindfulness, which is like meditation, breathing, the acceptance of what your feelings are, no matter what it is, whether it's fiery, whether it's sad, whether it's happy, accepting, validating, and then being able to move on, and being able to lessen those lulls, those, damn, I missed that shot. Okay, snap out of it, next play. Damn, my body feels like shit. Snap out of it, get a massage. Like there's just things that you can do to continue to keep that mental space and just like your head above water at points. It can feel like during the season. So I think mental health is really important. I'm a huge advocate of it. I'm a huge advocate of when you need help, ask for help, because these relationships, you deposit so much all the time into your teammates that if you need to be able to withdraw, sometimes it's okay to withdraw. I will say we have a really safe space of like, I've been told at least 10 times, if you need a mental day, you can take a mental day, and that's okay. And just even having that option, I'm like, I don't need it, but to even know that that option is there in this professional realm, that's unheard of, and I think it's pretty special of like our front office, staff, all that.
I love that.
Yeah.
Something we're very passionate about and that you speak up on all the time that we admire so much is the liberation of Palestine. And it's not something that is easy to talk about.
Yeah.
And we can kind of find ourselves like going through our daily lives and just, going through our routines and forgetting that people are starving every day.
Absolutely.
What are some of the moments in your life or the things that made you feel that it is worth the risk and that it is necessary for you to speak out?
Yeah. Truly, I feel like it's my purpose. I know that God has placed a lot of favor in my life for both my family and I. Through this game of basketball, I've traveled the world. I've been able to get a degree through it. I've been able to have a 10-year career and be able to financially provide for my family in a very privileged way in a lot of senses. I believe that everyone has the right to a dignified life, the same way that I have a right to a dignified life. But I think what has really created this, because I wouldn't even say I was an activist before, I would just say I was a human being that just stands up for right and wrong when I see it. But God intended me to be a servant to my community and to others. And along the lines of my activism, I do put myself in front of a bunch of fires. And it's not for clout, it's not for fame. I get money taken out of my pockets. I get death threats every single fucking day. And that's a part of it. But this is why I fight. This is exactly why I fight, because that behavior is the behavior that is just an Achilles heel to our entire world, is that violence. And no one better than a black, gay, masculine presenting woman understands what it means to be oppressed, what it means to have that violence portrayed and put onto her every single day from multiple marginalized groups that I myself identify with. But a lot of people that sit in these crowds every night, pay these tickets every night to come and love, support us, they face this in their every single day lives, but yet they don't have the platforms and the cameras in front of them and the podcast that people want them on. So yes, I understand that activism isn't for everyone, but being a good human being should be for everyone. And so I just watched last week, it was a professor doing an example in his class, and a brown-skinned girl walked in, and he basically was like, "What's your name? Get out." No one said anything. And then he sits and he further gets into his lesson, and he's like, "Why did y'all let me do that? Why, when you knew that something in the heart of your hearts was wrong, that you did not stand up for your neighbor? You don't have to know her to know that that was wrong. You didn't have to know her to stand up." And so that is the most simple form of, you don't have to be an athlete, you don't have to be an activist, you don't have to be a celebrity to have impact on your every single day surroundings and environments to create the change that we need in this world. So, and a lot of it stems from my faith. I am a very, very proud child of God. I'm a Christian. And as a Christian woman, I know what my real faith teaches me. And that is that Jesus was the most radical being. He fought for the needy, the helpless, the poor, the marginalized, the oppressed. He flipped tables when people didn't obey to his commandments, his laws, to God's laws, right? But in a sense, he told us to do two things. I know the 10 Commandments, but Jesus asked us two things: serve God as your Lord and Savior, and to love your neighbor as you love yourself. And so I will always move through my every single day life, and no weapons will ever be formed against me when I'm walking in what I feel like God's purpose is for my life. We have people starving. We have kids being killed and murdered every single day. Here, there, Congo, Sudan. This is a colonization problem all over the world. And so for me, I'm not scared to talk about those things. This is logic. I think I'm a very emotional person, but when it comes to this, I am very logical. I am very type A. I am very, let's talk about facts. Let's talk about history. Let's talk about post-British colonialism. Let's talk about how we even got to this point that we're at today. How did we get in 2025 where we are in America with the turmoil that we have? You cannot move forward and heal in anything in life without the accountability of why you are where you are. So in my relationship, if Izzy was to be upset with me Even if my intentions weren't to hurt her, what is it that I did that left you in the state of feeling this way? How can I be accountable and how can we move forward? It is that fucking simple. It is truly that simple.
Yeah.
But we allow our self-preservation, we allow our privilege, we allow the arrogance of what it means to, live with the freedoms that we have in this country. But that doesn't mean that you take, because of your freedom, it should never mean that someone else is oppressed or gets less for your freedom. Yep. If that is the case, you are wrong. And I don't understand why we can't admit that. I don't understand why we can't see that as, I'll talk about this country and then all over the world. We have more commonalities than we do differences. But who keeps telling us we have all these differences? Who keeps pitting us up against one another? I think it's the common enemy.
Yep.
I think it's very black and white.
Yep.
I think divide and conquer is the oldest play in the playbook.
Yep.
And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of being fooled by the same stupid ass. It's like on the court. If Phoenix tomorrow runs the same fucking play 10 times and we get scored on 10 times, is that good defense?
No.
Did we adjust? Did we pivot? Did
Right.
we grow?
Right.
Did we learn our lesson?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So how many times, America, do we have to learn our lesson? How many times, world? Because this isn't the first time a genocide has happened.
Yep.
Why haven't we learned our lessons?
Yeah. No, that was all beautiful.
Sorry,
Thank you
I just
for-
went on
no.
a sermon.
Oh,
No,
please. The
love
opposite
that.
of
Pastor
sorry.
Tash up here, I'm sorry.
No,
No,
we
no.
appreciate it so
We really
much.
appreciate that. And the ongoing openness, and especially in this time where we are as a country, and you and I have talked about this before.
Yeah.
And there was a point where I came up to you earlier this season to apologize because something that I had asked you got aggregated by one of those right wing.
And I was like, it's okay, it happens all the time.
But I do want to move us on because we can get
Yes,
stuck here.
yes.
And just ask you, who are some of the people in your life that, because you're so compassionate and passion forward, that you have to lean on because you can't be on all the time. I know that when we see you,
Yeah.
you are on, and you do feel probably some kind of like internal need to be the best Tash you can when you are in the light.
For
But
sure.
when you can shut social media off, when you can step away from the Barclays light, who are those people in your life?
First and foremost that's who I go home to every night. And so even on like, a big part of this is also like protecting my home and making sure she's safe as well. Before it was just me navigating a lot of these spaces by myself, and the weight, the pressures, the threats, right? That was just to one singular person, and I've accepted that if that comes, that's a part of my purpose. Like, that's just what it is. But when you start involving other people, it becomes that much harder. The weight of these situations become a lot more extensive to like my mental, my emotional. And so even yesterday on like a day where we get in super late from Phoenix and a lot of people are in here, I just really took a mental day because I did need it yesterday. So, Izzy comes home from doing whatever she needs to do in here, and it's just like a day that's about pouring into like refilling both of our cups, but mainly her like refilling my cup in a lot of ways of just being there emotionally. Do you need anything? Do we need to talk about anything? And, if I'm being honest with you, yeah, like I did need to talk to her yesterday just about like, even still the family struggles that I have with two of my siblings when I'm like trying to navigate this space. So definitely Izzy is a huge piece for me. My niece, Amber, that's like my best friend. We're 7 years apart. She has a daughter now too, and it's a huge reason as to why I fight, even for like still gun reform in this country. Is like I have nieces and nephews that are still in school that I care very deeply about their safety, going to get an education and bettering their life. Like I care about them going to the mall, to the movies, to the concerts, like wherever all of these violence is happening. And then I would say like my parents are great. I want to say y'all know my family too. Like I come from a white family, and I have two older white parents that are super just supportive of me, and understanding that even though they didn't grow up, going through these things, and while they might not understand what it means to be me and to be mixed and to be gay and to be masculine presenting, they love me nonetheless, and they hear me. And I think that's the most special thing for me, because not a lot of kids get that from their homes, especially when it does go against the natural, I would say like just understanding. But I feel like my parents, my oldest sister Crystal, Amber, they've been really like my backbone when it does come to this, and making sure that I'm protected, I'm supported, I have what I need emotionally, and that they know like I can come to them whenever I need. So that's been huge, as well as Brittany Sykes and BG. Like those are two of my best friends. We have a group chat called Few Good Poppies. And I mean, all of us, like, if we need anything, it's like we just send a message to the group and we'll get on a group FaceTime. We'll have our little like group sessions where we just talk about life and family, of like what it means to also be in that phase of settling down and building a family and creating for, you know, your wife and your kids and all those things. Like, I have a really good tribe behind me, which I'm really thankful for, because it keeps me grounded, it keeps me moving. And there's a lot more people in the mix, but like when I need to go to people, that's who I go to. Those are my go-to people.
Thank you so much, Tash. And thank you just for taking the time today. This
Thank
was
you.
a conversation that we were so excited. We've, for so long, been fans of you as a player, fans of you as a person, and getting to cover you this year and really getting to know you
I appreciate y'all,
has been
for real.
wonderful. And
Y'all have always been great to me. Like, you have always supported me, even when I wasn't on this team or in this market. So that's why, like, I really, what you deposit into us too, like, I will always make sure that when it comes time to like withdraw and give to y'all, I will always give it back.
Thank you so much.
so much.
And the hawk will never die.
You already know what it is. I love it. Let's go, St. Joe. I love it.